Over an intensive two-day meeting, I shared my information about the Biden family's financial transactions with CFC, including specific dollar figures. I never heard back from the DOJ, but instead of showing appreciation for my whistleblowing, I became public enemy number one. I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I have no political motive or agenda. I did it out of deep concern that if the Bidens were to come to power, the country would be facing the same traumatic Russia collusion scandal, only this time with China.
Well, we all know what happened next. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan unsealed charges this week against Luft, and after he made those claims about the Biden family business with China. And now we're learning some curious details about the lead prosecutors in the Luft case via Chuck Ross at the Free Beacon. Now, not only did the Assistant U.S. Attorneys Catherine Gosch and Daniel Rickenthal conduct the 2019 interview with Luft, where he made these initial claims, both of them have contributed exclusively to Democrats. Gosch made 35 contributions in the 2020 election cycle to Biden's campaign and the DNC, while Rickenthal contributed to the 2008 Obama-Biden campaign while in private practice. Joining me now is Miranda Devine, Fox News contributor, New York Post columnist. She's the one who published the Luft video that you saw at the top. Miranda, there certainly is, there's a lot out there about Luft. The left is circulating, saying that he's really a pro-China plant, and he's not someone who's credible, and he's a spy, et cetera. But these prosecutors are the same ones that interviewed him in 2019. The fact that we're learning more about them and their donations, that's relevant, is it not?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it is New York, and so it's not surprising to find Democrats in the prosecutors' ranks. And look, it's only a few $100s, although I would say that Catherine Gosch's 35 contributions to Biden and the DNC in the 2020 election cycle would suggest that she was pretty keen on having Joe Biden beat Donald Trump that year. But look, I don't think it's really fair to cast aspersions on their professionalism just based on who they donated to, but I do think it is really curious the way that they've handled both the Patrick Ho case and the Gallup case. Now, Patrick Ho was the joint business partner of both this Israeli professor, Gal Luft, who's currently a fugitive, and Hunter Biden. Both Hunter and his uncle Jim Biden and Gal Luft were making money out of CEFC, this Chinese energy company that Patrick Ho worked for. And when Patrick Ho was rounded up by the Southern District of New York, arrested and charged and then convicted on bribery allegations during his trial, the very same prosecutor, Dan Rickenthal, he asked the judge to not to basically redact the Biden name from the evidence before the jury. And he said there was just no point having it. And this was one of the reasons that Gal Luft says that he felt he would not get a fair trial in New York because he would have the same prosecutor trying to hide.
Yeah, they're getting special treatment again. I mean, once again, there's a standard of justice for them and everybody else. Miranda, important details. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.